Hey, what's up, y'all? This is Keenan Higgs Higgins coming to y'all once again from Black America Web. Now, I know you probably heard the term blurred before, but I promise you there is no negative connotation when it comes to being a nerd. Actually, we're going to be highlighting a lot of that in this new content series that we're calling Blurred Alert. And so to start it off, I have a special guest you might see. Lil Zook. I'm gonna tell you a little bit about Lil Zook, but I do have someone here special to introduce Zook. My guy Marly McFly. Tell us a little bit about what's going on with Zook, and we'll get into blurred culture in a bit. But like, just tell me who's this fly guy sitting next to me right now?
I think that introduction pretty much set him up perfectly. Everything you summed up about blurred culture, he is the poster child for that, the brainchild of my inner blurred. So that's the perfect setup.
I love that. Yeah, and so like real quickly for people who don't know, Blurred just stands for Black Nerd. And really it's just a culture that comes around collecting and being into anime and really having appreciation for like art and just like how life can be really animated. And I feel like when I look at Lil Zook, I get all that and more. So tell me a little bit about just your history in art, coming up in DC, and then just what led you to creating this character who could very well be like the urban Bazooka Joe, you know?
Right. Yeah. So growing up, just me. I always loved comics, cartoons, sports. So I would always, always doodle, always draw through school. You know, when when I'm not in football practice, I'll be drawing in study hall. So that was always something I had, and something I loved. It was the only real career path I saw myself in. So I just, after school and after doing a couple of jobs, I finally just decided to let me get on the path and make a career out of my actual passion and what I love. I did a lot of gallery work, different commissions, mural things like that, and just as I was getting my footing, doing a lot of things, I just wanted to get back to creating something my own, having that own IP, and just actually, expressing myself more. In the art world, I was doing things that I knew would sell or would fit with galleries, or just would get me pretty much make me money and get me where I needed to be. So it's like Zook is my way of coming back and just getting back to why I loved art in the first place. And just more of myself, an extension of me.
Love that. And so just looking at Lil Zook, he is there's style, there's a bit of a story too. He has an eye patch going on. There's I believe there's a spray can. So like what is
Yeah.
the story that you want to tell and like what are some of the things that you have already introduced and that you want to kind of expand into the world of Zook?
The biggest message of Zook and just behind the whole brand is just not being confined, not being put in one box. I know growing up, we, representation seems to be the new thing, but in a way it seemed like a black cartoon on TV, it was always just one. And it was kind of that copy and paste of just the black guy was the athlete, the black guy could dance, but it was just like we do a lot more stuff. So with Zook is kind of just not being put in that box. Just push your limits. Anything you could dream of, you can make it happen. So sometimes I'll draw him riding a dinosaur. Sometimes he's riding a motorcycle. Just whatever you can possibly do, go do it. Go make it happen. It's like there's not one copy and paste version of a black person. So I try to just expand that palette. Anything you can see yourself doing, I want you to see that in Zook as well. If you just like to read, cool. He'll read comics, he read books. You're a sneakerhead, he's buying sneakers. But I also do it in a tasteful way where it's not like a caricature of black people.
I love that, and you really lead me into an interesting perspective because as you might have seen, there was this huge backlash that the reboot of Good Times and that animation, and there was
Yeah.
so much speculation of whether it was even supposed to be a reboot in the first place and what was happening in the back doors. But it really brought a conversation around the importance of an animated show being a representation for the culture and not just being something for entertainment. And so it really puts the animators at a place of like, wow, like we really have a responsibility. And so do you see that with Zook and the characters that may be introduced in Zook's world?
100%. Everything that show stood for, Zook is the exact opposite. Just like one where it's like, the animation on that wasn't the most flattering, just the way it represented us. It was kind of like a caricature of us told by people who probably weren't us.
Mm.
So with Zook, it's coming from someone, so I don't have to like upsell or try to like be this thing that I'm not, because it is me. It's like, it's just, I wake up and that's who I am. So I don't have to that tries to appeal to people and it just falls flat. It's like, no, that's who I am. And the reception has been well. Most people, some aspect of Zook's life will appeal to everybody. If you're a Black comic book collector, Zook. If you collect sneakers, Zook. You play sports. If you read, you just, you like science. It's any aspect of the world, Zook's, he's dabbling in. He got his hands in it. So I just want to show that whole range that Black people have.
I love that. And and just to close this out, what is one surprise that you really want to bring with Zook, or just like maybe like different characters? Like I see this guy having such a dynamic like just life out here, especially representing for the culture. So like, what's in store for this guy?
I got the Kickstarter kicking off on May 1st, so hopefully that'll open the door. We'll give more of the vinyl figures into the world. So that's a start. But I think a big area that's been missing as far as Black media is just having that huge media conglomerate. Like, why don't we have our Mickey Mouse? Mm-hmm. It's like we get a character here or there, but it's not really like this huge franchise. It's like maybe the closest right now might be like Black Panther or Miles Morales, but that's still like a section of something bigger. But we don't have that one stepping point where it's like Zook could be on t-shirts, Zook could be on a backpack, a lunchbox, long big picture theme park. Like, it's nothing that Mickey Mouse is doing that Zook can't do. It's like, and that's a mouse. Like, that's, I mean, I don't like mice, but that idea has been rolling and going for years. Why can't it happen?
I love that. And so, listen, here's to the future of Lil Zook. There we go.
Sir, appreciate it.